CJ Stroud. Now, I love CJ Stroud. You know, I liked him at Ohio State. I thought that Carolina should have drafted him first. I didn't predict that Bryce Young would be bad, and maybe he won't. Maybe he'll turn it around. But I did like CJ Stroud better. I like his gumption, Rob. I like the fact that he's not afraid to say what he wants to say, whether you agree with him or not. You know, I mean, he did his top 5 quarterbacks, Rob, on a podcast and put himself number 3. So, I mean, hey, I like the audacity. And when you do that, you got to go out and prove it. And he certainly did that as a rookie, but he's going to have to keep doing that. But he was talking on the podcast with Gilly the Kid. It is called $1 Million Worth. I'm trying to find $1 million worth of game. And he was talking about, you know, quarterbacks and winning championships. And Rob, here's one of the things he said.
Stafford is another one, bro.
He five.
He might be up there with Brady and them, bro.
No, come on.
No,
bro.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
that
crazy.
was crazy.
Let me go back. I'm a student of the game. Stafford a dog.
He
bro.
is a dog.
No, you don't understand, bro. You saying that. That's all I watch. I don't watch nobody else. I watch Mahomes at times because Mahomes does some stuff that like you can't coach. Stafford, dog, he will beat you with the same thing every time. All that no-lick stuff, I got that from bruh. Like, literally, that's one of my big, like, I'm a fan of his. Like, when I go to
great
LA,
quarterback.
I be trying to find, bro.
But
Like, we
it's
got the
level
same
to
trainers.
greatness.
I be trying to, like, go to where they working out and just watch.
I feel what you're saying.
That's all I'm
He
saying.
elite, dog.
Like Charles Barkley.
Hold on. If you give Matthew Stafford a chance like Aaron Rodgers, I guarantee he might have had more rings, for sure. I think Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford had more rings than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he have another ring probably.
I'd say he had like 3, 4.
Wow. Wow. That's all I got to say to that for now. I know you chomping at the bit, Rob Parker. Right there in Detroit. What a night to start in Detroit. So let's see what you got.
It's typical that guys who can play don't know anything about the game.
Wow.
Like that's what I would say. Has he really watched Matthew Stafford? Chris, I watched him from the start of his career. I covered every Lions game, home and road as a columnist in Detroit. Okay? Stop with the hyperbole. Stop with this whole idea. The Lions, when they lost to the Cowboys in the playoffs, Chris, first of all, he had a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
He had Ndamukong Suh, all right, an all-pro. He had Nick Fairley, who was another really good player. That year they lost to Dallas. They have number 5 defense. Go look it up. They're tremendous. And the Super Bowl that you're claiming he would have had all these other Super Bowls, he was fortunate to get that one. He threw a pick. He threw a pick in the game, Chris, that would have probably lost it for the Rams, but it was dropped. And that DB is no longer in the National Football League. That was the punishment for dropping another one of Matthew Stafford's errant passes. And talk about all the yards that he put up. Chris, I covered the games. Lions down 21-0 after the first quarter. Stafford had throw the ball. You can't throw it. They'll let you throw the ball in front of him, in front of their defense, Chris, all day. So I'm not saying that Stafford is a terrible quarterback or he can't play, but to try to rewrite history and say that a guy who won 4 MVPs, multiple Pro Bowler, right, Chris? You know how hard it is to be a Pro Bowler. I don't think Tom Brady.
He's only been a one-time Pro Bowler.
Right? How many times?
When he was in Detroit, at least.
Yeah. Only one time,
and that was All-Pro.
All-Pro, I mean.
All-Pro is what's difficult. Yeah.
The All-Pro spot is hard to get.
Yeah.
And those other situations. If he likes him, that's fine. But to really sit there and say, oh, he would have won 3 or 4 Super Bowls, I don't see it. And I think it's, again, this sounds to me, Chris, like when you ask these players and they say, Paul George is the GOAT. That's it's on that level to me. That Paul George is the GOAT. I don't even understand it.
Look,
Aaron Rodgers has the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback in the history of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has the best touchdown to interception. Those are things I'm not making up. That's not feelings. These are just facts. Stafford's not in any of that, Chris. You said it. One Pro Bowl. I think it was an alternative.
His numbers are impressive, as you know. I mean, there was talk about would he be a Hall of – now, he's not even guaranteed to be in the Hall of Fame now. But remember, there, even in Detroit, Rob, because of the numbers, it was like, man, what do we do with this guy? He doesn't win. But his numbers are crazy, particularly yards. Look, I don't like. First of all, I disagree with you on CJ Stroud not knowing football. Like I do. This is his opinion, and obviously an opinion can be wildly wrong. I'm not saying that, but I think from listening to him talk, obviously he's been out there this summer. He's been talking a lot about the sport. I do think he knows the game. I do believe he's a student of the game, and I think that's part of his success. I think he's a smart quarterback. So I'm not going to agree that he don't know what he's talking about as far as the game. But these exercises kind of bother me because, I mean, Rob, if we want to shift dudes, and what if it's been played before. Well, what if Rodgers was with Belichick in New England? How many Super Bowls would he have won? What if Marino was here or there? How many Super Bowls would he have? At the end of the day, I'm judging you on what you did. And we have seen top quarterbacks turn franchises around. And Matthew Stafford was unable to do that in Detroit. So I just think I can't play the what-if game. I'm going based on what they did. And look, Aaron Rodgers, Rob, I have taken him to task for his playoff failures. In NFC championship games, he's 1-4. He's lost his last 4. And for a guy, and you talked about his passer rating, his claim to fame, and rightly so, will be he don't throw interceptions. Oh, except for in the NFC title game where he's got 8 in 5 games and he has 9 touchdowns. That his TD to interception ratio is incredible. It's the best ever. But in those NFC championship games, he's not himself. And Rob, even in the one he won, you remember this, he had 2 interceptions and no touchdown passes. So, and Stafford, I'm not going to sit here and cape for Stafford because I don't think he's as good as Aaron Rodgers. But in Detroit, you talked about the 1 year he had a good defense. Because he was there for 12 years? And only one time had a defense in the top 10 in terms of points allowed. And that was probably the year you're talking about when they lost to Dallas. They were 3rd. But overall, I mean, look, some of it's on him. Calvin Johnson wasn't throwing those balls to himself, so you got to give Stafford some credit for that. But at the end of the day, we do judge these quarterbacks by your ability to win and elevate a team. And plain and simple, he wasn't able to do that. And I'm just not here to play the what-if game.
Yeah, and let me give you these quick stats, Chris. In 8 of Rodgers' 10 playoff losses, his defense has either given up 37 points 5 times, okay, or he led the game-tying drive and then never got the ball back. That happened 3 times. And for context,
3 times in his playoff history?
Yeah, three times where he playoff losses.
But
this is 8 of the 10 playoff losses.
He's 11
Chris.
and 10 in playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. And
in 8 of they can't be 8 of the 10.
Yeah, 8 of the 10. His defense either gave up 37 points. I don't want to go too far. That was 5. It happened 5 times. Right, either or.
Yeah, okay.
Or he led the game-tying drive and never got the ball back. That happened 3 times. And last thing for context, Aaron Rodgers' defense has given up 37-plus points 5 of the 10 playoff losses. Just for comparison, Tom Brady's defense, Chris, has given up 37 or more points. You ready? Just 8 times in 381 games. Just 8 times.
Well, that's where you could play the what if Rodgers was there, right? But my point, I'm not buying that with Rodgers because we watched those games. And I mean, they lost to San Francisco 37-20. But they were down 27-0 at halftime. I mean, so yeah, the defense was bad, but so was Rodgers. Can you score? So, and then he come in the second half and, his stats ended up looking okay as they go prevent defense and all that. And the same thing with Tampa Bay, Rob. You remember that. They were down 28-10 early in the third quarter, and then he kind of rallied to make it respectable. But, yeah, those are games where it looks like, the defense gave up 30-plus points. But he didn't do anything offensively until it was over. So, I mean, look, his numbers are what they are in these NFC title games, and that's a mark on his resume. But I'm sorry, I can't put Matthew Stafford ahead of him. I mean, there's just no way in that.